The Prime Minister Ishiba, you are the traitor. You are the cancer in Japan. Abolish consuming tax just right now. Get out of Japan just right now.
Let him know right now.
Yes, this is what happens when you get the Liberal
So much passion.
Democrats running your governments.
Yaps. It's in the name. Will be interesting though.
Once you
Hearing your point of view with some of this immigration and how people think about all this.
Well, welcome back to 2C TV, your global news channel. I'm Maya 2C, and we come to you guys with live coverage coming from the protests in Japan. The Liberal government
That's
of
right. Japan is having these issues now.
country are now facing a huge backlash over their pro-migration deals that they are making with a number of countries by bringing in low-skilled workers to obviously fight back against the problem of birth rates and the aging population. Of course, the Japanese people are not having any of this, and they are now on the streets of Osaka and everywhere else basically to fight against this. And of course, the Liberal Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba. Ishiba, of course, has signed a new deal with the Indian government, which has resulted in a massive backlash. First, the Japanese government decided to start to import low-skilled workers from Nigeria and other places in Africa, again, to fight against the problem with the aging population. But he's also signed a deal with India over the last couple of days, and this will potentially import about 50,000 low-skilled workers.
Also, just side tangent, it does look like the India is making a deal with America to drop the tariffs down to 0. Also, what's poppin', Yash? You missed a hell of a conversation earlier about religion and POVs. Welcome, Akram, by the way. I'm getting water, but I'm still listening.
To get all this done is without the consent of the Japanese people. Now, let's not forget that for years and years, even back in the 1990s, Japan did bring in some workers, small number of economic migrants into the country. You actually had a lot of people from Iran and other places. They saw themselves as guests. They were temporary workers, and a lot of them, some were low-skilled workers, a lot of them were high-skilled workers, and they respected the Japanese culture, and they tried their best to integrate. Those days are gone, and things are completely changing. Let's go to the first video we have from Osaka, the anti-immigration protest in Midosuji, which is basically one of the main streets in Osaka. Patriots are now out. This is also the most Japanese way of protesting. Respect, very peaceful, all marching on the side of the road to make sure they don't create disruptions for the rest of the public. This is beautiful, by the way. Let's go to the first video from Osaka.
Also, look how well, like, Japanese street clothes, like, the Japanese just dress so cool. They have drip, man.
Brilliant.
Once more, you could tell that this is not in America because all the protests are their nation's flag. If this was in America, everyone would have their own flag. Probably not that part, Yash.
Now, the thing is, people in Japan, especially now, the younger generation, while they are extremely peaceful, they're extremely disciplined, even their protest is very structured, they know, they finally are waking up that not all cultures are equal. And
it's not that all cultures are not equal, even though that's, I don't know if I disagree with that statement, especially after repeating it aloud. I just think it's a global internet culture. Now that we are connected globally, we've never had this, to my knowledge, in human history, maybe in a past civilization before the Great Reset. Just kidding. This is the first time in human history that we've had this level of connectivity where I can have friends over in India, shout out to you, Yash, shout out to you, Arma, where we can have real-time conversations right here and now, and I think people are just seeing, okay, what does a good person look like? Screw what they call their religion, their faith, their guidance, because we're going to find a few guiding principles that are shared amongst all traditions and all cultures that kind of universally result in good human beings, and that's going to be the direction of what good humans are. And then we're going to once more see what internet degens produce, and there's going to be a side that just pulls together all the bad things, and that's also going to become like the other side of it, where we're going to have to try to balance out. And I think we're seeing I think we're seeing this play out in real time.
They have already had some problems with some of the more, well, let's just call them the socialist-leaning Kurds. Not all Kurds, by the way, are socialists, but there are an element of some of the Kurdish movements who are in Japan. Some of them are refusing to integrate,
protesting
and
in line.
They've already had some issues with those guys. Having said that, this problem is going above everything else that's already happened when it comes to immigration policies. The liberal Prime Minister Ishiba doesn't seem to be listening to anybody in regards to why.
So I'm just trying to understand this. Japan made a deal with India, and India is going to send labor population over to Japan to combat the declining, like natural birth rate, the thing that Elon was talking about earlier in the stream. And the Japanese people are like, no, we don't want that. Is that, am I picking up what it's putting down?
The government is not even trying to help people in Japan to bring back the increased birth rate, to ensure that people get married and actually have kids again. There was a bit of some good news from South Korea over the last few months. The birth rate a little bit went up again, but South Korea also is facing the same problems. Over 5,000 people gathered in front of the Prime Minister's office demanding his resignation following his disastrous immigration policies. Let's quickly go and see that.
The right voice can bring your story to life.
Craft unique voices.
My ad blocker is no longer working.
Now,
declining birth rate for sure. They're not
the
producing enough babies.
Anti-immigration protests are. Let's just go to the next video quickly.
They're too busy working and not banging.
Now, as you can see, they're very.
Wow, look at these protesters. They're all behind the line. These people are just walking, enjoying their day, still having to deal with just the crazy noise. But like, this isn't like in New York where these people would be like, you bigot, you're not in our protest. You don't support us, you Nazi.
Very disciplined.
Like, I'm just trying to go to work.
But they want to make sure that their voices are being heard. And right now, the global international media, apart from Reuters, they're not necessarily covering any of this. They're not really reporting on anything that's happening right now in Japan. And shortly I will be showing you guys a speech that was made by one of a young Japanese girl who was very emotional about her life and her future. The government is using the low birth rate as an excuse. They're using the aging population as an excuse. They know.
They're too busy watching anime and shit to be banging. Like, more animes need to come out being family-oriented animes to kind of get them thinking, okay, maybe I do need a baby.
They know full well that this has become the result of the global consensus when it comes to globalist economic policies that are directly linked to also open borders and free movement. They created this lie for decades that in order to be able to do free trade with other countries, you also have to do freedom of movement with other countries and open up your gates. You don't have to. That's not the truth. You can also still attract foreign investors. You can invest into bringing in some of the more high-skilled workers in smaller numbers and from cultures that are compatible. You can do that. Again, Japan used to do that in the 1990s, where people were temporary workers and they were guests and they integrated and they left, they went back home. That could happen. They are using the excuse of, well, the population is now older and people are not having babies. Well, you make things expensive as well. People can't have babies. And this is a big issue. There's also a massive problem of...
That's the biggest issue right now in America, for sure.
Materialism, which is also, by the way, the result of corporatist capitalism. And I say this as a free market capitalist myself. If you actually have actual free market capitalism, that's fine. It works because you have to have that combined with traditional conservative values, family values. But if you have globalist corporatist values, which is essentially just completely that your land is just the land and people can...
No. Global corporatist values are that you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Come in, do whatever they want to do, no respect for the flag, no respect for the identity. This happens. The media in Japan, let's talk about, for example, NHK, which is the state broadcaster. They are now protesting outside the NHK offices as well, demanding that Shigeru Ishiba resigns. Of course, the NHK is not going to be reporting properly on what the Japanese people are demanding. Let's go to this.
The Prime Minister Ishiba, you are the traitor. You are the cancer in Japan. Abolish consuming tax just right now. Get out of Japan just right now.
Let him know right now.
Yes, this is what happens when you get the liberal.
So much passion.
Democrats running your governments. Things are becoming difficult, especially for young people in Japan. They want to have opportunity.
I think it's becoming difficult for young people across the world, and I think in most developed countries, the idea is you're supposed to go to school, get a college degree, meet a girl, get a good job, kind of have a kid, raise the kid, have a good family, you know, like that. But I don't think that's now just an American thing. I think that's like a global thing of just, you know, that's the end goal for so many people, and or at least that was the dream that was sold, and we're finding out that that's an expensive price tag that not everybody can, not everyone can have.
Again. And the issue for the country was also about what happened since the late 1990s. Both Japan and Germany had to make radical changes in the 90s. The economic model was too centralized. It was very Keynesian. They both were almost going bankrupt. Japan came back up massively in the 90s, and they became leaders in terms of tech. Then problems happened because their neighboring countries like Korea started competing massively with Samsung, with LG and everything else. And of course, then China. The rise of the Chinese communists stealing a globalist, corporatist model, it made things slightly harder for Japan to be the leader in terms of tech, also in terms of the car manufacturing and everything else that they've had before. They have to find a way to come back up, globally speaking, if they want to compete. But you also have to look after their own people. So the next video is there.
There's a lot of silly rules, though, like Japan. I'm thinking of like Nintendo, especially with how like they're so not open border. They're so closed where they won't let any, like, for example, they're going after people who are modding in Super Smash Bros. Bro, if anyone is playing Super Smash Brothers right now, a legendary, fantastic game. Not hating on the game, but you should. That's like your fan base. You should let them kind of do whatever they really want, so long that it's not doing weird mods in the game with like Samus being nude or something like that. You should let them run and run tournaments and whatnot. You can't even run a Super Smash Brothers tournament or a Mario Kart golf or like racing tournament without Nintendo sending you a cease and desist.
Is a young Japanese girl who got a little bit emotional, saying this is the first time I've come to a protest, to any sort of demonstration in her life. Let's just see what she had to say.
怖い初めてデモに来ました。こうしてデモに来なければならない。若い子たちはまだ少ないですけど、私はもう本当に石破さんのせいで怖くてたまりません。お母さんに今日デモ行ってくるよって言って出てきましたけど、やっぱりもう親にも申し訳なくて、その安心する未来がないことを今石破さん移民をたくさん入れようとして、このままじゃ日本はレイプ大国になってしまいます。親の世代を安心させてあげられないのも辛いし、私の子供世代なんてどうなってしまうんだろう。日本は単一民族国家です。それを今の石破さんの勝手な政策では言えなくなってしまいます。怖いです。
You want customers from ads much cheaper and the scale.
The translation on that is rough.
ありがとうございます。
She said thank you very much right there, and I don't see that in any of this translation.
今まで国民は無力なんじゃないかと思うほどひどい政治を勝手に。
Same. My generation too has also been raised by a bunch of propaganda, and I'm sure if you're watching this, you as well.
やられてきましたけども、国民の方がものすごく人数多いです。石破さんやその周りの方々なんて、日本国民の中の 0.00001% ぐらいの人たちが得をするようにできてるなんておかしいです。ね、99.9999% の私たちが声を上げれば 5億%勝てますって気づいたから戦います。 周りの子たちにもいっぱい言います。まだまだ私の世代はやはりプロパガンダですごく育て上げられてきた世代ですので、なかなかここまで日本が深刻な目に遭っていることを実感している子がまだまだ少ないと思いました。
Yeah, she kept going for a while, and I mean,
that's kind of rude.
Yeah,
the bitch wouldn't shut up.
The wake-up call in Japan over the last few years has been absolutely fascinating as well. It's the younger people who are actually kicking off against the liberal Prime Minister Ishiba, and they do know that they can see the threat against their way of life.
Well, it's just, once more, the internet is just like most people are looking around right now and they're like, hey, man, there's a lot of people not like us around here. It's like the Kendrick Lamar song. They're not like us. And then you got people across the world. And, yeah, fool, I look around. There's not a lot of people like me. Yeah, I don't know what to say. There's a lot of people that are coming in and they are not being very respectful of our rules. And we're all getting online and we're all seeing this and we're like, oh, you too? It's like the Spider-Man meme. We're all like, we're dealing with the same issue. What is going on, man? And people are just waking up.
In other countries, there are people who say, well, what is wrong with people in Japan? They're just, they are exaggerating, they are dramatic, they don't have the same level of problems like in France or the UK, which is kind of hilarious because that means that the left-wingers who say this, they basically admit there are massive problems in France and in the UK and other countries in the West when it comes to multiculturalism, mass migration. By basically saying, well, Japanese people, you don't have that level of problem. You basically say, oh, finally you admit you have problems in your Western countries. That's number one. Number two.
They're like, it's not that bad over here. Go look at these places. That's where it's way worse. Look at France. It's basically not even French people anymore.
For Japan, it's still bad. The numbers are low now. They have seen what's going on in the West and they learned. They don't want that to happen, but it's already happening. We've had crime going up. In Tokyo, for example, you've seen some of the girls who have been sexually violated in Osaka, for example. It's already happening. But for Japan, even one is more than enough. One crime, one foreign criminal is more than enough. In the West, for example, in countries like the UK, people have been tolerant, have been so open-minded, so liberal, and they have to wait for decades and decades until they finally say, yeah, actually, you know what? And I'm not talking about the patriots, so they've been saying this for
UK is scaring me right now with how they're cracking down on just freedom of speech and the meme culture, or like the anti-meme culture. Like you could just post a meme about England, right, in England, and they could legitimately arrest you. It's insane.
20, 30 years. I'm talking about other people who've been completely burying their heads in the sand, and now they say, oh, actually, you know what? Maybe we should speak out. Really? For example, the Tory party, the Conservative Party, they're finally trying to say, oh, yeah, I think there are some problems. Oh, really? You were in government for 14 years. You didn't say anything about it. Now you think there are problems. They have to wait for millions and millions of cases to happen for them to realize that there is a problem. In Japan, one crime, that's more than enough. Next video, demonstrators flying their Japanese flag, chanting, arrest them, arrest them. And they are calling for the resignation of the Prime Minister, Ishiba, but also, obviously because he wants to accept more immigrants. And they're calling for the arrests of the globalists in the country. Let's go.
So nice to see that people are just not over flooding the road. No buildings are on fire. That bus in the background isn't flipped over. If this was in America, this would not be good. Is that a picture of Donald Trump right here?
Right. Yep. The protests are also breaking out over the JICA's African Hometown Initiative. There's also a lot of low-skilled workers from African nations that are going to Japan. And I think one of the main problems for the Japanese people is not necessarily racism over skin color. They keep saying, this is about political consent. We are supposed to be a democracy. You didn't ask us if we want certain people in. You didn't ask us how many we want in. You just decided on behalf of everybody else.
It's crazy how this is happening all over the world.
Now, there are a lot of good people from Japan, as some of you already know, if you have encountered these lovely people. There are also some of them who are in the West working, and they've integrated, they work really hard, they pay their taxes, they have businesses. I'm going to show you an example of what they have to go through even in the West. When they have to then tell their families and their relatives in Japan what they are seeing in the UK, when they live in the UK, well, obviously they're going to kick off. So the next video is actually three British Muslims from Manchester. They walked into a Japanese tea shop to mess around, harass the staff, demanding free drinks, claiming.
Let's see how this goes.
That it was one of them idiots' birthday, and then they tried to steal a drink.
No, one of the Baka's birthday. Come on.
The Japanese worker was not having any of this, and let me just show you what happened here. We just received this. This is, I believe, from Manchester. Well, the three Muslim brothers. I don't know if they're brothers or friends. They are from Manchester.
Hey, if you live in one of these cities right here, why don't you own an apartment building? Seriously, let me show you.
Yeah, just go out and buy an apartment. Have you seen the economy?
Today is his birthday. Can he get something free? Why not?
He demands something free because it's his birthday.
Gift. Take it. It's it. We need it. Take it. Don't touch him. Happy birthday.
Don't touch him. Like, you could just take something. You could just break the rules, and you're just, oh, guess what? No, happy birthday. He's free. He's good.
It gets worse.
Say here. Give me back. We are. Huh? Today's his birthday. It doesn't matter.
Also, you didn't show any proof. You just said, hey, today's his birthday.
It doesn't matter. Come on, man.
It doesn't matter.
I will pay you.
I'm calling mine. What?
Today's his birthday.
Yeah, if you can.
Who cares?
Get it back.
It's birthday. He deserves it.
Come on, man.
He's now locking the door to call the police.
He deserves it. Oh my god. Oh my god.
They're just bullying him.
Okay.
So weird.
This is what kids do for clout. Like these travel vloggers. This is just so bad.
Free, bro. Today is his birthday. Huh?
I'm doing it.
Oh my god.
For making this. Oh my god, dude. This is just painful to watch.
It's his birthday, bro.
They think they're being funny.
What do you mean it doesn't matter? A tea shop.
Since 1860, huh? Crazy.
Look at that pretty boy. Look at that pretty boy with his glasses. He deserves it. Look.
What do you mean he deserves it?
Well, so why did you lock the door? How
They
much?
think they're funny.
£2. We don't have £2. We are homeless. No.
Get out.
All of us. Huh?
I mean, honestly, this guy handled it really well.
Huh?
If this was in America, this guy is definitely throwing down, at least throwing one over the hand hook, and then if he connects that, he may even fuck around with a little sidekick, you know?
Huh?
Get out here.
Huh?
Welcome to the United Kingdom, ladies and gentlemen. So, yeah. And those who still don't see this as a problem, the attitude issue. Well, I don't.
It's the attitude issue. It's the entitlement issues. What more do you need as evidence to where it's just like there's not even like a whim of trying to assimilate, trying to be respectful to the community, to the people around. It's like it's just so narcissistic and so full of themselves and no humility at all. But this is where I'm going to wrap up. It's almost midnight my time, and I got to wake up nice and early for work in the morning. As you guys know, I started a new job, so wish me luck. And as always, I challenge you guys, make somebody laugh today. Put a laugh, put a smile on someone's face, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. Bye.